ML Sports Take here, brought to you by our good friends at Rosie's Corner. It's a Fish Friday. Stop on down for not just the fish entree for dinner or the lunch version. You can get the pizza wing combos all day long. I just ordered a turkey club here, and oh, by the way, they've got the meatball bombers. They have unbelievable entrees as well, like ziti, lasagna, etc. You can grab your classic burger and a lot of appetizers here as well. All the desserts, all the drinks, everything here at Rosie's Corner, a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. Make sure that you stop by here on Route 11 in front of the Brewerton Bridge. If you are in and around Central New York, it's just an easy mile right off the Bartell Road exit. You take a quick right and a quick right on 11, and you are right here at Rosie's Corner. They also have an awesome dine-in area, too, if you want to sit down and relax here on a Friday morning and afternoon. I'll tell you what, man, Swamp Kings is absolutely awesome. What a great special on Netflix. It's a 4-episode documentary on the Florida Gators when Urban Meyer was there, Tim Tebow was there, and it's incredible to think about the dominance of the SEC since then, right? I mean, when that happened, Alabama wasn't the Alabama that we've known under Nick Saban. It's, Georgia is not the Georgia we now know under Kirby Smart, going for their third this year national championship. We didn't have, we didn't yet have Cam Newton. We didn't have the LSU single season of Burrow and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and that ridiculous offense. Joe Brady, was there at that time. Ed Orgeron, the head coach, right? We didn't have all of that even yet. It was Florida's time. It was their reign, and it was funny because the program was kind of at a weird spot. It was a conundrum to kind of try to figure it out. The administration, the boosters, they were all kind of at their wits' end. And the program was at a crossroads, and they had to kind of figure out, hey, how are we going to get out of this thing? We need one huge recruit, and they got that huge recruit in Team Tebow. Now, it's incredible, the story that Urban Meyer tells. Look, Urban Meyer's a complete scumbag, but he's a great storyteller, and he told the story about how they got Tim Tebow. They were waiting, and I think he was in a cab perhaps or something, and he got a call from Tebow, and he said, hey, coach, and he was about to tell him what was going on, his decision to go play college football, and the line went dead, and Urban Meyer, freaked out, and he was sweating, and, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but next thing you know, he finally found out that Tim Tebow was, in fact, coming to Florida. And I've said for a long time, and this documentary really expands it, Tim Tebow going to Florida really put Southeastern football, it really changed the axis of powers, right? I mean, it really flipped the tables upside down. It made Florida a rock star program again. They started getting a ton of recruits in, the Spikeses of the world and others, because of Tim Tebow. It made other people step up their recruiting to challenge Florida because they got Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow became an icon, a rock star on and off the field, on all the major television channels. And again, remember, in the early part of Tebow's career, they put him in for those specialized plays like 4th and 1 at the goal line and all the rest. Sears was the quarterback at that time. It wasn't like Tebow was running things. And then as time went on, Tim Tebow had one of the most decorated, best college careers of all time. In fact, I think Tim Tebow's on the Mount Rushmore of college football. I just did a bunch of videos on that a couple of days ago. I'd probably put him on it, Herschel Walker on it, Jim Brown on it. And I know a lot of people might say Bo Jackson and all the rest. I would go Charles Woodson because he's still the only defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy, and he wasn't just a cornerback. All the aforementioned players I mentioned, they had a stationary position. Woodson played offense in 97. He was a special teamer, punt returner, kick returner throughout his career. So he was a multifaceted player, his main deal being a corner for a Michigan team that shared the national title in 1997. But back to Tebow. Everything changed when Tebow got there. I mean, unbelievable stuff. And by the way, how many guys literally can go to a college campus and be the guy, the rock star on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, Sports Illustrated, front and center, College Game Day, Sports Center, everything and anything in between? I mean, this guy was an absolute rock star, and he became not just a countrywide beloved figure. He became, he was regional, he was nationwide, and then he was a little bit of a global icon to a certain extent as well. I mean, people knew him, around the world. But you think about it, all of that pressure, all of those expectations, all of that hype, and he delivered, and he did it while all the partying was going on, all the hot girls, all the drugs and alcohol. He didn't do any of that stuff. Tim Tebow was football, working out, concentrating, being there for his teammates, eating right, in his dorm room, in his, whatever else he lived in later in his college career, off-campus apartment, whatever. He was all business all the time. And I think that is so unbelievably impressive, and it's probably impossible for everybody to even pull that off at the collegiate level when you have everybody picking at you all the time. And look, the SEC is a different animal. You can be a great football player in college and make it in the NFL, whether you play at a big-time school like in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, Florida State, USC. You can be, a guy coming from Jackson State. Look at Walter Payton. You can be, Ben Roethlisberger, Miami of Ohio. You can be a Fred Jackson coming from Coe College. You can be Louisiana Tech's Terry Bradshaw. There's a million different, North Texas's Joe Green, Mean Joe Green from the Steel Curtain. There's a million different situations. However, the SEC is literally like an NFL junior when you think about it. It really is. It's NFL 2.0. When you look at the 80,000 people in attendance every single stadium, home and away, you look at the pep rallies, you look at the parties, you look at the complete and utter ridiculousness of the fan base and the demands that they have. When you lose a game, you are a failure. When you don't win a national championship at Florida, Georgia, LSU, Bama, Auburn, you are a failure. And Florida, with Tebow, all of that pressure was so real. And oh, by the way, they won not one, but 2 national championships. And Tim Tebow won a Heisman Trophy. And look, I know that Tebow at the end of that 4th episode looks up and he sees the national championship years in Gainesville at the Swamp. He says, I know there should be another one up there in 2009. You can say that all you want. You can be Tebow, you can be Urban Meyer and think that you left some stuff on the table. But the reality of the situation is, my God, you know how hard it is to win 1 national championship. You go through the gauntlet of that schedule, by the way. Then you've got to win the SEC championship and playing a top 5 team yet again. In some cases, these teams are playing 4 to 8 top 10 teams in an entire season. I mean, you think about that. You're playing number 2, number 4, number 7, number 8, every year. I mean, that is your gauntlet. That's your slate. And then you have to play another, chances are, top 5 team in the SEC just to make it to have a chance at the national championship. And of course, that was before the playoff that we have now of the 4 teams, which will expand in due time as well. This special is absolutely amazing. I'm so hooked on documentaries. I have been for quite a while, ripping through all sorts of stuff, during the all-night feedings with our little boy. So we've been ripping through Real Sports, we've been ripping through Hard Knocks, ripped through the unbelievable Swamp Kings. I just can't get enough of this thing. And look, my sister went to Florida State. I saw Florida State on a Saturday night ABC game, 8 o'clock. There's nothing like football in the South. In a lot of cases, in most cases, if not all, football is center and it's the only thing you have. Tuscaloosa, Gainesville, Baton Rouge, these towns, it's all football all the time, 24/7, 365, recruiting, spring game, regular season. It's insane. The pressure, the craziness, the hype, the expectations, amazing. Swamp Kings delivered. It's elite. And Tim Tebow, elite college football player on the college football Mount Rushmore for my money. And it just shows you the in-depth, behind-the-scenes stuff of what it takes to win at that level, the highest level in college football. Mike Lindsley with you here from Rosie's Corner. Stop by for all of the goodies, man. They've got the pizza wing combinations. Try the garlic wings, garlic parm wings, the gold fever. You can try the meatball bomber as well. Fish Friday today, mac and cheese, coleslaw, and french fries to go along with it as your sides. You can get your lunch and dinner versions as well. And check out the ziti, the lasagna, the comfort foods, all the rest, and the classic American burger. They've got the drinks, the chips, the mac salad is unbelievable here. The chicken salad, it's all here at Rosie's Corner. Make sure you stop by all day. Route 11 in Brewerton, in front of the Brewerton Bridge, as you get off the Bartell Road exit. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.